Hello and welcome to Peoria High School, where the Peoria Lions call home. A rich basketball tradition in this building and a rich basketball tradition among the school they'll host tonight. It's a Peoria rivalry. Peoria High School and Manual High School ready to go at it. The Rams and the Lions on ClutchSportsIL.com. Can't think of any better way to spend a Tuesday evening. And welcome to the Lions Den, everybody. I'm Joey Wright alongside Gavin Russell. And Gavin, anytime you look at a crosstown Peoria rivalry game, whether it's Peoria Manual, Manual Richwoods, Peoria Richwoods, throw Notre Dame in the mix, you know you're going to see 32 minutes of intense basketball. Everyone's going to leave it all on the line. What are you looking for tonight? Because there's a lot to unpack. We don't have all that much time to do it.
Well, that's so true, Joey. I mean, the rich history between both of these teams is just incredible. I mean, not even just on the hardwood. You look at the football circuit as well. There's just a lot of great matchups. And Peoria High School and Manual, when they get together, they've got a long history of playing against each other. So we should see a special one tonight. But kind of look at some of the keys of the game, perhaps, for both of these teams. First of all, for Manual, you know, maybe not the start that they're looking for in Big 12 play at 1-3. You know, again, not the start they were hoping for necessarily, but they've been in some close battles. You know, of course, the Big 12 was loaded with talented teams. This is a great opportunity to pull off an upset win over Peoria High. So what they're going to need to do tonight is play all four quarters. You know, they got to start to finish, play some good basketball, and they got to finish at the rim. You know, they really got to control the paint. They might have a bit of a size advantage, so they got to finish at the rim. But if you go over to Peoria High, 10-7, 4-1 in Big 12 play. Ideal start for them, looking to keep it going against an in-city rival. Got to own the glass. Of course, they may have a little bit of a issue with the size. Manual's got a lot of tall players, but if they can own the glass, get the majority of the rebounds, that'll go in their favor. And you got to start hot and finish hot. We saw the other night on ClutchSportsIL.com. Richwoods had a big lead over Manual, let it slip, and barely won the game. So Peoria High's got to come out fast early, and they got to be able to finish the game.
Had Richwoods not gotten out to a great first and second quarter, Manual would have had enough left in the tank to win that game. And that game that you're referring to, Gavin, a 63-62 win in overtime for Richwoods over Manual on Friday night, really kind of generates all of our keys to the game tonight, because Manual stormed back in the fourth quarter, had some chances down low in the last 10 seconds or so of that fourth quarter to tie it, which they ultimately did, and win it. Buzzer beater attempt fell in, I should say, just a little bit after the buzzer.
To make a note on that, as I went back and rewatched it, it was awfully close. I thought there maybe he got in just in time, but, you know, of course, a very bang play and very hard to call if you're the official.
It was oh so close. I can't say, or rather I can say that I went back and watched it a couple times myself. Just a little bit after, and when we go back and look at that, we've got to go into the last 10 seconds as a whole. Manual down 2. They're able to find a basket, you know, right in the paint, right in what would be the restricted area arc if we had one. That area of the floor, they're able to find that basket and tie it up, and that was, I believe, from Donald Wilson was the hero who tied things up. And then a quick steal on the inbound pass, and, you know, that's with 5 seconds left or so. First attempt doesn't go. Offensive rebound, put back, goes, but it's just after the buzzer, and that was from Cameron Causey. And it was, you know, you're looking at, they were down 21, almost won it in regulation, instead went to overtime and lost.
Just very close, but again, it's got to put a little fire under Manual. They got beat by an in-city rival. They didn't play the incomplete game that they probably wanted to, so another opportunity here against Peoria High. I don't think they want to let another one slip quite that crushingly, if you want to say. It was just probably a pretty crushing defeat if you're Manual, you know, to get down that big and not able to finish off the comeback. So definitely looking to take care of business in the Lions Den, but no easy task. The Lions will come to play for sure.
No easy task at all. There you get a look on your screen at how these teams enter tonight. Manual just 1-3 in the Big 12. Peoria 4-1. Manual averaging 54.5 points per game. But Peoria, a hot squad in their last 6 games, 4-2. Going to be a good one tonight. As we get ready to pause for our national anthem, we'll come back on the other side of that with the starting lineups and all the action from the Lions Den tonight. You're watching Clutch Sports Media's live coverage of Big 12 Conference basketball. The Peoria Lions pep band with a nice rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Gavin, I always like when schools go with a version of the national anthem from the band as opposed to a pre-recorded national anthem.
The pep band really brings it to life before and after, during the game, rather. So great from the Peoria High pep band.
They did a great job, and now we get a look at a team that wants to do a great job on the floor tonight. The Manual Rams, 6-8 on the season, 1-3 in the Big 12, coached by Willie Coleman in his 5th season. The Manual Rams line up like this. It'll be the junior guard, Jerron Traps, wearing number 3, lining up alongside the junior guard, Justin Page, number 5. In black tonight, going to be a big part of the Manual attack. Donald Wilson, the senior guard, the hero at the end of regulation against Richwoods on Friday night, is number 10. Cameron Causey, number 24, a senior guard, and Ideas Robertson, the senior forward, wears number 35. Manual Rams, as you see, in black and white tonight. And now the Peoria Lions, led by Daniel Ruffin Jr. in his 2nd season at the helm of the Lions program, taking over for his father, Dan Ruffin, last season. Bo Allen Jr., the first Lion to be introduced tonight. Senior guard, wears number 2. There's Eddie Clark, also a key cog for the Lions on the gridiron. Number 3 in white tonight, the senior. Mike Weiss-Taylor, a junior guard, wears number 10. Sean Kelly, getting ready to run through the tunnel. Senior guard, number 11 tonight. And the man in the middle for the Lions, the senior forward, Deshaun Wells, number 15. Gavin, just about ready for tip-off. Your final thoughts as we get ready to lock in and get going in the Lions' den.
This is going to be a fantastic battle, Joey. I hope everybody gets to stick with us through 32 minutes of great coverage, and it should be a great basketball game. And I expect it to come down to the wire. We'll see if that happens.
These two teams know how to play it close. The JV game was close. Peoria with the edge in the undercard. As we get underway, glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Joey Wright, Gavin Russell, and the entire crew in with you. Here's Jerron Traps, nearly losing it, but Robertson's home, and Robertson traveled. So the Lions defense wins the first battle.
The crowd's going to make a big difference. I think that might unsettle Manual a little bit. We even heard in the JV game here, a lot of emotion from both benches from the crowd, so we'll see if Manual can settle in.
Lions in the JV game forced a late steal with about a second left. Walked off the floor, a three-point winner. JV players ran over to the varsity players who were waiting by the locker room and had a nice celebration. Loose ball, could be our first jump ball tonight. No, Manual comes away with it. Here's Traps. Traps swings. Causey up top to the top of the key. No dice from Justin Page. And trying to keep it in was Traps, but he couldn't do it.
Both these teams are looking to come out and just hit the ground running. I mean, both teams are playing incredibly fast. A little bit sloppy, a couple of turnovers from both of these teams. Not even a minute in the game so far. Might need to settle it down and get a good possession here.
And Gavin, we had a chance to catch up with Manual Rams head coach Willie Coleman before this one. Asked him what some keys to the game were for the Rams. He stressed defense. And as Peoria misses down low, they get a chance back. Floater doesn't fall that time from Mike Weiss-Taylor. And there's that Rams defense we talked about. You'd like to get that first rebound, but they come away with the second and start the offense back up.
They're contesting shots real well.
Driving is Wilson. Wilson off the glass has our first points of the night. Donald Wilson for 2, picking up right where he left off at Manual on Friday night. Peoria's offense driving and almost tying things up was Taylor. Popped back out, and here's Clark. 3-on-3, Traps guards Clark. Clark looks over, finds Deshaun Wells, and a foul called. First foul we've seen tonight is going to go against Wilson.
Yeah, the defense for Manual just in the half court here has been really good. They're contesting shots real well, but the boards so far have been won by Peoria High. They've gotten a couple of offensive boards, just haven't found the back of the net yet.
That was one of our keys to the game for Peoria, was to own the glass. Get after it down low. Lions doing a nice job of that in the early going. Here's Clark with a nice find. Almost a nice finish from Wells, but it was better defense from Manual. And now Page gets back. Page drives and improbably scores.
Little bit off balance, but finding ways to score. Manual needs all the buckets they can get.
Rams 4, Lions scoreless. Kick out to Wells. 2 steps in and a kick back to Kelly. Kelly to the corner. Clark with a nice drive. Floater rebounded by Wells, who goes up and under, and the Lions are on the board for the first time tonight.
That's a big bucket right there to get yourself on the board, but had a couple opportunities to shoot from the outside. We'll see if maybe they start taking those shots.
Rams were looking for a response. Causey couldn't get anything going. Peoria in transition. Layup, tied game. Mike Weiss-Taylor knots it up at 4.
Best thing they can do right there, take advantage of the transition game and get a quick bucket.
Both offenses starting to move at a quicker clip here. Floater didn't fall from Page, and the Lions move a little too quick. No, Clark saves it in the corner. Clark with a kick to Wells for 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by, by Allen. No, Wells couldn't put it back. Gets the rebound and gets blocked by Causey. And now Traps runs. No, but the putback falls from Robertson. And look at how quick the Lions are moving up the court here. Stepping on the line is Bo Allen.
The idea is good because if they don't want Manual to get set up in that half court, they played really good defense when they get set up. So Peoria High is obviously trying to push the pace for a reason, but you got to do it with a little bit more control. We've seen the turnovers, we've seen the possessions that haven't quite worked out, so you need to find a little control if you're Peoria High.
First 4 minutes have gone by pretty quick. Here's Traps. Well contested by Wells. Kick out to Robertson. 3 had a little too much on it. Causey the rebound. Now a feed down low to Page. And Page kicks it out to Traps for 3. Falls from the corner. First 3 we've seen tonight.
Those outside shots are going to be huge.
Mask timeout coming at the next dead ball. Lions find themselves down 5. Largest deficit of the game, but it's early. And here's Clark. Clark to Wells. And it's rooted away by Page. Page with a nice pass and blocked down low by Wells. What a block. Deshaun Wells came in out of nowhere.
You're going to talk about an early player of the game candidate for Peoria High. Let's talk about Deshaun Wells. I mean, he's been making some big plays, getting some shots up. He's got a couple of their points. Big play to save a bucket right there.
Takes us to our first mask timeout. 9-4 our score, favoring the Manual Rams over the Peoria Lions. Glad you're with us tonight on ClutchSportsIL.com. Gavin, your takeaways from the first 4.5 minutes. You saw both offenses moving quickly, but I think the scoreboard is a little less lit up than both coaches might like.
Well, it seemed kind of like a blur that first few minutes. Both teams trying to move up and down the court very, very quickly to take advantage of that transition game, because as we saw in the half court, both these teams played exceptional defense. So moving at a quicker pace, I think that's going to be what this game hinges on, who can score in transition. I guess that could be a new key to the game for us, Joey. Who's going to win that transition battle? Who's going to score baskets more quickly? And, of course, Manual with the 9-4 lead right now. Both teams, though, probably expecting a little more from their offenses.
It's been just a little more Rams than Lions in the early stages, and these offenses certainly talented enough to heat up on a dime. Rams up 5 out of the timeout. Crosstown rivalry matchup, Manual and Peoria, both schools out of the Big 12. Separated by just a few miles of distance. And Gavin, that was one thing we talked with Willie Coleman before this one. How do you approach a crosstown rivalry game? He said it plays out a little differently in 2021 than it might have in 1991.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he said that a lot of these guys are very close, and, you know, they're even teammates on AAU teams and whatnot. So he said there's definitely a good spirit of competition, but all these guys are pretty close.
But still two schools that want to take each other down.
That's for sure.
See if Peoria can get back on track here. Maybe a little unfair to say back on track. We've played just 5 minutes, and the Lions have done a lot well. It's Allen right now over to Clark. Clark stops, in trouble, goes up and scores. Eddie Clark.
Impressive footwork right there to keep his footing. Nearly lost his balance and traveled, but really athletic play. Go up and under, and got to take all the points he can get.
Shows that footwork that made him an all-conference running back for the Lions at Peoria Stadium this past fall. For Tim Thornton's Peoria Lions, always a threat in the Big 12 and around the area. At 5A class, when you talk football, Robertson goes down low and gets fouled.
Yeah, I haven't really seen the fouls. That looks like it's just the second foul of the game from either side. It's going to be an interesting matchup if Robertson can get down there in the post. We'll see if Deshaun Wells is able to defend that without fouling. Otherwise, his foul trouble could be dangerous for the Lions.
It's his first and the team's first, and the third point of the evening for Ideas Robertson. And the second one short. Just 2 fouls so far, as you see on the bottom of your screen, 1 for each side. Wells kicks it out to LaShawn Stowers, who is fresh into the game, and a free throw falls for Allen.
Peoria High obviously likes to score a lot in the paint, whether that be in a transition game or just feeding it into the post. But again, those outside shots from the mid-range from the three-point line are going to be big. It's going to need to make a lot of the fabric of their points tonight.
Justin Page wants a response, doesn't have the 3, and here's that transition game we talked about a moment ago. Stowers, extra pass to Allen. His 3 gives Peoria its first lead tonight.
That's a really good possession from the Lions. Very in control, gets a nice shot, and takes the lead.
First time we've seen the Lions lead, 11-10. And that's that offense starting to heat up. Wells pokes it loose, and the steal completed by Sean Kelly, and a timeout called by Dan Ruffin.
That's a good timeout, of course. You know, you want to save all the timeouts because in crucial stages of the game, those can really come in handy. But good timeout. Your team has the momentum, and, of course, momentum is a big thing. Saw Manual hold a lot of momentum early. Peoria High has got a lot of it as of recent. That's going to tell a big story in this game is who's got the momentum.
It's that Big Mo we always talk about.
Big Mo, oh yeah.
And Gavin, I hate to reference that Manual Richwoods game too often, but of course that's just, you know, a couple days ago. Saw it on Friday night. Good recent showing for these Rams. Didn't get the win, but momentum was so key late in that game, especially in the fourth quarter. In the second half alone, they were down 21 points. They were able to erase that. Proof that no lead too small or no lead too big, no lead unerasable, I guess you could say.
Well, that's the truth, Joey, but again, momentum was a factor in them going down that much. Richwoods had a lot of that momentum. You know, they got down big by 21 points, so I think the idea is you got to play 4 quarters, got to keep the momentum throughout the game.
got to put it all together. Peoria with 11 points right now. Richwood started that game on Friday on an 11-0 run. Just 1 point separating these two teams right now. Sean Kelly goes to Eli Love. Love to Eddie Clark, and Clark was looking for Love. Robertson got in the way. Traps runs, and Clark fouls Traps. Number 3 fouls number 3 for the Lions. Second foul of the evening, and Clark's first.
Yeah, not a lot of foul calls early on. I'm curious to see how the officials go about calling this game. We've seen some decent contact early, nothing egregious, like I think you would say, Joey, but definitely a lot of contact early on.
Shot short, rebounded by Page, and Page gets it out to Cameron Causey. And Causey gets fouled, and Eli Love's going to pick that foul up. Deshaun Wells is waiting to come back into the game, and he's going to come in for Love.
Love had a little stretch there, but of course they want Deshaun Wells in the game. He's been a big difference maker for the Lions so far on both sides of the ball.
Lewis Bailey, by the way, fresh into the game for Manuel, and as I address that for the first time, he comes out. Robertson comes back in his place. We'll see if Lewis Bailey comes back and be a nice second piece off the bench. Down low in relief of Ideas Robertson. This could be the last possession of the first quarter. Eddie Clark has it. Giving him plenty of space is Justin Page. Sends Allen in motion. Allen picked up by Traps. 10 seconds left. And Allen's going to start the possession here. To Wells. Wells guarded by Robertson. 3 seconds left. Wells steps back. 3 on the way. If it goes, it does. Peoria beats the buzzer. Deshaun Wells with a step back 3.
That feels huge in this game right now. They go up 2 possessions. Huge 3. The crowd loves it. At the end of the first quarter, the bench comes running out. Maybe a little bit deflating for Manuel. They played that possession well. Had it defended right up into the end, but Wells, big time play, and he, so far, one of the biggest reasons why Peoria's in front.
Rams did all they can do indeed, but it's Peoria going to the second quarter, up 4 points, 14-10 our score. Take a quick break and come back after a quick word from Uftring.
Upgrade to 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive during Uftring's Traction for All sales event. With new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound, plus fresh trades and pre-owned for every budget. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Back in the Lions' den. Want to thank Uftring for being on board tonight and throughout the season. Peoria 14, Manuel 10, second quarter upon us. And if you just joined us in the last 15 seconds, I'm sorry because you missed a brilliant step back 3 from Deshaun Wells. Gavin, as you mentioned, Manuel did all they could on that last possession of the first quarter. But Deshaun Wells, tough to handle tonight, 5 points. He's been a difference maker.
Well, he's controlling the glass for the Lions, too. That was a key to the game at the start of the show. And he's done a really nice job. He's gotten several offensive boards, at least to my count. Also done a nice job on the defensive glass, and all with 1 foul. So Deshaun Wells proven to be a big difference maker for the Lions.
He has 5 points, as does Lerone Allen, and the only other Lion on the floor who has scored is Eddie Clark. Had a big 2 earlier. Sean Kelly blocked. It'll stay with the Lions. For Manuel, it's a lot more balanced in the scoring column. Jerron Traps and Ideas Robertson both have 3 points, and 2 points each for Justin Page and Donald Wilson. The other Ram on the floor is Cameron Causey, but he's yet to score. Allen gets the handoff from Stowers, who is back into the game. And Allen will drive. He'll do it himself. Doesn't get the friendly roll. Causey the rebound. He'll throw ahead to Traps. Intercepted by Wells. And numbers for the Lions. Kick to Stowers for 3. Got it.
Huge momentum shift right there. I mean, they've already got the momentum coming their way. Add another 3 on top of it. Peoria High is feeling pretty good right now.
Lions on a nice run here. They've opened their lead to 7 points, their largest lead of the evening. Both teams have swapped the lead back and forth. Alley-oop down low to Robertson. Couldn't connect, a turnover. And Gavin, Peoria has really flipped that momentum that we talked about just a moment ago onto their side.
Well, I'm sure coming out of the gate, Manuel is definitely thinking we don't want to get off to too slow of a start. We want to be in this game the whole way through, but starting to let off the gas a little bit as we come into the second quarter here. They need a big response here, and they can start on defense, Joey.
And they'll get a little help from an unforced error there, although good defense from Robertson somewhat precipitated that turnover. Wells couldn't get a hand on it. And what are you looking to accomplish here if you're Manual on this possession, other than maybe just saying points?
Well, of course, they like to play fast, but you got to get a good open look. They've tried to force a few things down the post. Of course, we have the mismatch. Take it, but take a nice open shot.
Ball in the hands of Jarrell Traps. First time we've called his name, and that pass went right to Eddie Clark, and now a foul called. Not the possession Manual wanted there. Traps into the game for the first time tonight. Senior guard. And he was looking down to the corner, but another football-like move from Eddie Clark got up there and picked it off.
Those multi-sport athletes can hurt you in a lot of ways.
They certainly can. Drive and almost a basket, but the rim was not quite kind, I should say, to Mike Weiss-Taylor. Jarrell Traps has it now, guarded by Clark. Good defense from the Lions here, not giving Manual anything. Justin Page trying to drive, spinning and kicking it out to Traps. Now down low to Robertson, turnaround two, won't fall. Sean Kelly the rebound, he pushes ahead. And better defense from Justin Page forces the miss. Pass down to Jerron Traps, intercepted. Lions playing great defense, and it leads to a Sean Kelly basket and a Manual timeout.
Boy, it's just been a tough stretch here for Manual. Hasn't scored in a few minutes going back to the first quarter. Definitely need to try to reverse this tide very quickly, and it's got to start on the next possession for the Rams.
19-10, the Lions lead. And Manual stuck on a number. They've been at 10 for some time.
I believe this is a 13-0 run for Peoria High. I believe it was 10-6 at one point. And then ever since, Peoria High has gone for, I would say, 13 straight. I don't know if that sounds correct to you, Joey. Don't have a stat keeper here tonight, but sounds like a big, either way, it's a big run for Peoria High, no matter what the number is. They definitely got a lot of the momentum. I mean, that's just going to tell the story in this game, and certainly proving to be very true right now.
No live stats, but that sounds right to me, Gavin. And that would be in the last 4.5 minutes or so, that 13-0 run. Manual got out to a hot start in 9 points. They're far from out of it here for where we're at in the game. Got out to a hot start, but Peoria has made the adjustments. And one of the keys we've talked a lot about is defense. And that's what Willie Coleman told us, head coach of the Manual Rams, told us defense would be crucial tonight. That's an area that the Rams really pride themselves on. But it's been Peoria's defense, I think, that's really keyed this run, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely, Joey. I would say for sure. They've gotten the hands of the passing lanes, gotten the steals, and gotten the transition game.
Kick to the corner, and Robertson for a three to end the run. A big response. Ideas Robertson answers the call, and just like that, it's a 6-point game.
Game of runs, Joey.
See if Peoria can answer. Deep three on the way that falls from the top of the key. Bo Allen.
Big shot. But again, a little bit lazy on the defense. Manual needs that confidence back.
They left him wide open. A foul on the drive from Causey, and I think that will go against Allen. It will. It's Allen's first and the team's third.
Left them wide open at the other end. Again, you got to get points here. This is a big possession. You had a three, but again, capitalize, score on multiple possessions.
Causey with a nice pass and a foul. Nice pass to Carry-On Farrell, who came into the game at the last dead ball, and Farrell will go to the line for 2 free throws. And that pass was almost, to my eye, looked like it was going to be a turnover, but Farrell did a nice job of staying with that, and he knocks in his first free throw.
I don't know how much it is that maybe Manual's throwing some risky passes or making some undisciplined plays, but Peoria High is just really prioritizing getting their hands in the passing lanes, forcing turnovers, and that's been a big reason Peoria High is controlling the game right now.
Second shot from Farrell missed, but a nice putback from Robertson. And back to a 6-point game again. Talk about risky passes, but these two offenses loaded with playmakers, guys that can knock in a big three when their team needs it, or drive to the rim and finish on a nice take, as Sean Kelly proves right there with a one-handed finish.
We've seen him take it inside a few times, hasn't really capitalized much as the transition games goes to the other end, but Stayshawn Kelly is a great playmaker, as you mentioned.
Farrell had the Lions beat down at the other end, but Eli Love did a nice job of getting back. Now it's a kick to Robertson. I think that would have been a deep two had it gone. No dice either way, moot point. And Mike Weiss Taylor will drive and gets blocked by Robertson. Page keeps it in. Rams driving. Here's Farrell in transition. Went up with two hands but lays it in.
Just like that, it's a 6-point game, Joey, and it's going a little bit back and forth now, keeping Peoria High off balance.
Farrell brought everyone's heart rate up a tick there as he wanted it, you could tell, but went with the safe finish. Here's Sean Kelly. Kelly guarded by Causey, nearly lost it. Sends it down low to Little, and Little to the block. Eli Love gets blocked by Robertson, and we'll call that a travel on Cameron Causey.
Looked like he kind of was trying to lean into him, maybe draw a foul, but defender just kind of pulled off and forced the travel.
First dead ball under 4 takes us to our second quarter mask timeout. 6-point lead for the Lions, where it's been for some time. 24-18 our score. We're back after a quick word from Uftring.
It's Uftring's Traction for All sales event with the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive trucks and SUVs you need for winter driving. Interest rates are at record lows and trade values are at historic highs. Plus, changes to the trade tax law means you'll get your full tax credit at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back to Peoria High School. There's Dan Ruffin leading the Lions huddle. Daniel Ruffin Jr. in his second season at the helm of the Peoria Lions. Took over last season for his father, Dan Ruffin. Dan Ruffin led the Lions to a lot of success, Gavin. State champions in 2011-2012, but the Lions haven't won a regional title since 2012-13. They've been close, and they've had the pieces since, and Daniel Ruffin Jr. thinks he has a squad this year that can get back to that round, that second round of the playoffs.
I would agree with him, and I think they have potential to be a team that maybe is not the favorite going forward, and if they make it towards the second, third round of the playoffs, but a team that certainly could upset and play with just about anybody. So interested to see how Peoria High plays going forward. I think they have some good potential.
IHSA postseason nearly upon us as we work through the last couple days of January. Manual has had a lot of playoff success in recent years. Regional champions in 2018, 19, and 20. Went to the IHSA state playoffs in 2019. When you talk about both of these schools, a lot of deep postseason runs, a lot of postseason success. Peoria, state champions in 1908, 77, 03, 04, and 2012. Manual won their first championship in 1930, but of course what catches everyone's eye, the 4 straight titles in the mid-1990s.
They're a historic program, and so is Peoria High. Just great Peoria tradition with basketball.
Peoria is a rich basketball town indeed. Lions looking to build on a 6-point lead, or rather the Rams here on the offensive end. Jerron Trapp's missing, and now the Lions looking to build, and a one-handed finish for LaShawn Stowers.
Excellent awareness by Stowers. Noticed they had plenty of guys down there to get the rebound. Broke out in transition very quickly, and again, those easy buckets fueling the Lions' lead at the moment. Slower pace here. I'm curious to see if Manuel tries to kick up the pace a little fast.
There's Jerron Traps kicking to the wing. A three falls from Justin Page. Slow and steady wins the race, Gavin. That might have been Manuel's most deliberate possession yet.
Good possession, got a good shot, didn't turn the ball over, and the ball dropped in. Keeping it close, Manuel's definitely hanging around. This one will come down to the finish.
That was Jerron Traps on the assist on that Justin Page basket. Traps was the guy that hit the three-pointer to win it when these two teams met last time in this gym. You saw that one on ClutchSportsIL.com. Traps with the last-second buzzer beater to knock off the Lions last season. Three short, rebound Stowers, and he's heating up.
Stowers, a couple of really nice plays on a couple of sequences in the last couple of possessions, making a big difference off the bench.
Now Page drives and kicks. Driving baseline is Wilson. Wilson's pass kicked off the bottom of the backboard, but intercepted by Jerron Traps. And Traps will pull up for a free throw. Too strong. Into the last 50 seconds of the first half. Kelly missed, got his own rebound, and drew a foul. And these, Gavin, I believe will be the first free throws that Peoria has taken tonight.
I would say you're right. Not a lot of free throws from either side. Manuel's had a handful, but Station Kelly is just absolutely fearless. He's gone to the rack all night. I mean, he's not capitalized on every single shot. Not every layup has gone in, but getting opportunities, and of course, as you mentioned, he's one of the great playmakers out on the court right now.
Kelly has 4 points, but a guy that has the ability to lead the Lions in points. Right now, that honor would go to Bo Allen. And another 8 points for Ideas Robertson leads the Rams. Kelly's second free throw on the way and in after the first one fell short. 8-point game, 45 seconds left in the first half. Into the game is Tristan White for Manuel. There's Cameron Causey, double teamed, in trouble. And an offensive foul, a push off against Tristan White. Causey found himself in trouble there, Gavin, and did a nice job of looking for White, but White was also in trouble, had to push off to free up some space.
Well, we were under a minute now, and it looked like Peoria High did not want Manuel to be able to hold for the last shot. So they came out and attacked right away, forced the turnover. They've done a nice job with that tonight. If I'm Peoria High, though, I think he can take the last shot here, potentially even go up double digits.
See if they hold for the final shot. Allen in trouble, lost it, and over and back called. And that was just before Jerron Traps came in with a little contact. But the Rams will take over with 19 seconds left in the half. And the officials, I thought they were going to huddle up. One of them is going to go over and have a quick word with Daniel Ruffin.
Appeared to me that the ball was tipped by the Manuel player, but refs didn't see it the same way.
See if Manuel can capitalize now as they get the chance to end this half with a shot. Deshaun Wells beat the first quarter buzzer for Peoria. We'll see if Cameron Causey can drive and find some points here. He'll kick it out to Robertson for a three that's short, but Manuel knows how to finish at the end of a quarter down low, and it's Donald Wilson who tied things up just before regulation ended on Friday, beating the buzzer again, this time at Peoria.
That feels so big, Joey, to be able to come in. Really, I mean, Peoria High had the opportunity to take that last shot. They turn the ball over, you come in and get the shot at the buzzer. Great job from Manuel. Cut the deficit to just 6.
6-point game going into the second half, and you're right, Gavin. That shot from Donald Wilson makes it a 2-possession game when we come out of the third quarter, or I should say the halftime locker room, getting ready for the third quarter. Been talking about it all night long, how this one could come down to the wire, and I agree with you. I think that this could be another one of those classic finishes.
You know, the lead changes were a lot. You know, there was times where it was near double digits. There was times it was a lot closer. Again, it's just a game of momentum, a game of runs, and we've seen plenty of them from both sides tonight. It's really entertaining when both these teams get together.
It's going to be a fun second half of basketball. We've reached halftime at Peoria High School. Lions ahead of the Rams, 29-23. We will step aside and take a quick break, get ready for the second half, but don't go anywhere. You'll see the countdown to the third quarter on the top left of your screen. It's a Peoria rivalry, Peoria and Manual. And we're back for the second half in just a few minutes. Rams down 29-23. Welcome back to the Lions Den. We're at Peoria High School in Peoria, Illinois for a crosstown showdown. Peoria and Manual, the Lions of Peoria High School, have a 6-point advantage coming into the third quarter. That clock on the top left of your screen reset to 8 minutes, and you know what that means, Gavin. It's time for the third quarter.
It is time for the third quarter, and in the very exciting second half indeed. Hopefully everybody sticks with us for what should be an exciting finish. The way the first half went, a lot of back and forth, a lot of runs by both sides, and a lot of momentum shifting. I do expect the same here in the second half, so should be a good one, Joe.
These two teams know their way around an instant classic. Could see one here tonight. Joey Wright and Gavin Russell in with you, Jonathan Michael and Larry Larson. The rest of our crew on site here at the Lions Den. Josh Schwab running our social media accounts from our Peoria studio tonight. First possession of the second half. It is a Manual possession and a tipped pass off the hand of Mike Weiss-Taylor. It'll stay with Manual. And Gavin, Manual led for most of the first quarter. In the second quarter, that shifted. Peoria got out and kind of built a lead that hovered around 9 points, 6 points, now down to 4 points on the Jerron Traps make. What does Manual have to do here to cut into that lead? And conversely, what does Peoria do to build it as this possession continues with a 3 on the way from Kelly that's off the mark?
Well, you got to be consistent if you're Manual. You got to take the opportunities that you get. Can't turn the ball over, as we saw a handful of times. Too much, really, in fact, in the first half. Manual had some opportunities to make a big cut into the Peoria High lead, and they would turn the ball over. They wouldn't even get a shot off. So don't turn the ball over. Have some consistency. And if you're Peoria High, you know, you've been playing well. Defend the home floor. Finish strong.
4-point lead for the Lions, looking to hold on. It would be Peoria's 11th win of the season. Manual searching for win number 7. Sean Kelly with a 3 that's short from the corner. Justin Page the rebound. Justin Page, a difference maker for these Rams. 6'4" junior guard. Facing some tough defense here from Mike Weiss-Taylor. Tidius Robertson feeding down low to Traps, and Traps is fouled by Allen.
Might have got bailed out there a little bit. Looked like he might have just slipped, perhaps, but officials obviously have a good view of that one. Again, a lot of contact, not a whole lot of foul calling going on, but they're letting them play pretty good. It's usually a pretty physical matchup between these two groups.
And you're correct. They won't call that foul against Allen. And we will have a quick break here as they clean up some perspiration on the court. Allen does have 2 fouls, along with 8 points. 2 fouls also for Eddie Clark. No other Lion on the court right now has more than 1 foul. That would be Deshaun Wells with 1 foul. Mike Weiss-Taylor and Sean Kelly, not any fouls to their name yet. And just 3 players, I should say, for Manual on the floor right now have picked up fouls. 1 apiece for Justin Page, Donald Wilson, and Idius Robertson. But Gavin, we were talking off the air at halftime. Officials have not called a lot tonight. It's been, you know, a quick moving game, not a ton of foul calls, and you like to see that in a crosstown showdown like this.
Well, you know, as you see the bucket right there, puts the skill a lot more on display. You know, you don't got guys just purposely trying to go in and get fouls. You know, you really got to make them get the bucket, and that's exactly what we've seen so far.
Jerron Traps just got a bucket for Manual, and Deshaun Wells answers for Peoria with 1 there. And now both offenses starting to heat up, swapping baskets in the early going of the third quarter. Robertson has it, guarded by Wells. Gets it back to Donald Wilson. Now Robertson goes to work, bobbles it, hangs onto it, and kicks it out to Wilson, who traveled before a 3 that was off the mark, and that wasn't Wilson, pardon me, but Cameron Causey.
Those turnovers are killers. Manual's had probably more than the liking of Coach Willie Coleman. And as a moment ago, we were talking about the foul situation. I don't know if you picked up on it, Joey, but Lerone Allen picked up his 3rd foul on the inbound, so he's sitting down with 3 fouls right now.
He is replaced by LaShawn Stowers, who has been the first off the bench for the Lions tonight. And we'll see when Allen makes his return. Floater that falls from Justin Page. It's a 2-point game again. Manual has had the advantage out of the gates in the third quarter. Peoria trying to respond. Sean Kelly goes to Stowers for 3 at the top of the key. Off the back iron and hauled in by Donald Wilson. Wilson goes to Page. And Page guarded by Taylor. Page switches hands and drives from the block. Opposite side of the paint was looking for traps. And that will stay with Manuel.
Page has done a nice job controlling the ball for Manuel. But again, too many turnovers early on.
Nice find to Robertson on the inbound. His pass out to Page. Page didn't have enough on the 3. Clark drives, tried to step through. Shot blocked by Devontae Burse. And it'll stay with Peoria. That's the first time we've called the name of Burse, the senior guard. Robertson will come out, and Carry-On Farrell will return.
So it's a big opportunity right now with Robertson out of the game. Maybe try to eat up a little bit on the inside. Of course, he's an imposing force down there, especially on defense. So going right at it down there, but good defense.
Quick touch shot from Sean Kelly, and good defense indeed from the Rams. They've held the Lions to just 2 points out of the break here. It was 29-23 Peoria at halftime. Second chance, no. Third chance does fall from Sean Kelly. And the Lions, right on cue, pick up points 3 and 4 in the third quarter. A little bit of contact between Mike Weiss Taylor and Devontae Burse as they were running up the floor. Nothing of it. Down low, Page goes to work. And Farrell couldn't step back, but it was knocked out of his hand by Wells. And they'll stay with the Rams.
You're a little saying, you know, it's Big Ten basketball or something like that, but this is Peoria basketball. You know, they're going to let them play. Nothing's easy. Everything is earned, and that's how it's been for many, many years.
Two teams, two schools that love to hate each other, but it is a respectful rivalry. Both these teams and these programs so aware of what the other has done in its history. A timeout called by Manuel, and that will be, I believe, a full timeout here with 4:09 left in the third. As I say that, it's a 30-second timeout called by Willie Coleman. But as we, you know, you jumped the gun on that a little bit, I guess. But as we talk, Gavin, about these two schools, you know, the respect that all the Peoria schools have for each other. Richwoods, Manual, Peoria Notre Dame. I mean, all four schools with rich basketball histories. And, yeah, you want to knock the other down when you play each other, but I think these players, and certainly these coaches, Willie Coleman and Daniel Ruffin, know that it's just another installment in a rivalry that's much bigger than either of these two squads on the floor.
Oh, very true, Joey. I mean, you know, both these teams go way back. I mean, not just a few years, we're, you know, several decades. And, of course, you know, Peoria High has been playing for over 100 years. So both these teams go way back, and it's just an excellent rivalry in the River City.
We'll find out who the latest champion will be, although a champion, yeah, you win a championship for a short time, but you got to give it back when you play later in the year. And here is Clark. Clark to Stowers. Stowers in a little bit of trouble to Traps and a foul call.
We've seen them, you know, let that go a little bit, you know, some of the little hand checking, a little bit of pushing, pushed off with the forearm a little bit, but gets to a certain point, the referees want to call it, and we'll get the mass timeout now.
And that will take us to our third quarter mass timeout, as you said, Gavin. And good opportunity for Manual to kind of double up on that timeout that Willie Coleman called a minute ago.
Well, the Rams have taken a couple of their timeouts, but, you know, certainly you want to keep this one close. They've come out with a lot of fire in this third quarter. Of course, it's just a 4-point game. It was a 6-point game at halftime. So, again, a good opportunity for you to continue to cut into the lead, keep the momentum. I think it's been a pretty evenly played third quarter, I would say, Joey. Not a lot of big runs for either side. Good chance for Manual to kind of continue once again to cut into that lead and try to take the lead.
Well, and even third quarter, when you look at the scoring for sure, Manual has outscored Peoria 6-4 since the start of the third quarter, but both teams have had their opportunities. There's the Lions huddle looking to build on what is a 4-point lead, and we'll go over and take a look at the Rams breaking their huddle. First into your picture is Justin Page. Page has 7 points for the Rams, which is tied for the lead among all players on the floor. Jerron Traps has 7. And on the bench, another 8 points from Ideas Robertson. The Lions have 3 players on the floor with 7 points right now. Kelly, Wells, and Stowers. And an offensive foul as Kelly tried to drive inside. Devontae Burst did a nice job of taking the charge.
Again, physical play where we've seen him let him go, but again, referees maybe trying to hone in the game a little bit more. A couple of foul calls in the last sequences for both of these teams.
Cameron Causey back into the game for Manual, and out comes Justin Page. Causey has yet to score, but he's been involved in a lot of plays. Here's Burst. Goes over to Causey. And Causey from the top of the key swings it over to Traps. Traps to Robertson. Robertson tries to drive. Rebounded by Wells. Wells a heave down the floor to Eddie Clark, who hauls it in, goes up and scores. And what a possession from Clark.
Unbelievable play from Eddie Clark. Saved that ball a couple of times. Goes up and under. Wow, he is incredible.
So resourceful. Up to 4 points now for the senior. Here's Causey, nearly lost it, and he did lose it, but there to bail him out was Jerron Traps. Traps guarded by Eddie Clark. And Robertson now down to Causey. Causey over to Deatrick Richardson, goes over to Clark, a turnover, and in transition, Eddie Clark has been so dangerous tonight, now has 6 points and an 8-point lead again.
He's great on the football field, but he's pretty good on the hardwood too. I don't think many people know that. Showing off the skills and last couple of possessions big from Eddie Clark.
Deatrick Richardson feeds down to Cameron Causey. Said Deatrick a moment ago, apologized for the conflation there. But Deatrick Richardson into the game. First time we've called his name. Freshman guard, number 20 for the Rams. Floater almost fell. Looked like it might have been intended as a pass from Myquise Taylor. Got it back, and the second chance didn't go. Robertson, look at him bring in that rebound. Down low, nearly a basket, and it is a block. Defensive foul against Sean Kelly. 4th of the quarter for the Lions, 4th of the half. And it's on the shot, and Jerron Traps will go to the charity stripe.
I think that was a good call. He started falling early, just trying to anticipate getting that foul call. A little surprised, trying to just take the charge. We've seen them play pretty straight up all night and just contest the shot, but chance for Manual to kind of edge back into this one after a Peoria High run.
First free throw didn't fall from Traps. Would have cut it back to 7 points and put both these teams on the same plane. Rams looking to break 30 points. Justin Page is ready to return, but it looks like he's going to come in for Jerron Traps on a make or at the next dead ball. And the free throw falls from Traps, enter Page. Seven-point game, 98 seconds left in the third quarter. Sean Kelly, guarded by Cameron Causey, goes over to Stowers, has a lane, and has a one-handed finish.
Stowers is doing a great job tonight, adding an athletic presence. He's had some great awareness and some tough takes to the rim, making a big difference off the bench is Stowers.
Was the first off the bench for the Lions tonight and has a quiet 9 points. That leads all Lions on the floor right now. Stowers making a nice spark. Steal from Taylor. Taylor feeds ahead to Sean Kelly, and the Lions build their lead back to 11, and Kelly has 9 points. Timeout called by Manuel, and it'll be a full timeout from Willie Coleman, Gavin, as the Rams bring it closer. The Lions just seem to have that response every single time.
Well, the first few minutes of this quarter, Peoria Manuel, really seemed like they were keeping this one close. They're even cutting into that lead a little bit. Got it down to about 4 or so at one point. But again, that momentum shift, Peoria High just doing a really nice job responding, getting out in transition, just playing their game. They've maybe tried to go away from it for a little bit, tried to do some things differently, but got back into their rhythm and are controlling this one in the last few minutes, looking to make a big response heading out of this quarter.
11-point lead for the Lions. 9 points from Sean Kelly and LaShawn Stowers. Stowers, a freshman, making a big impact. He's the only freshman listed on the Lions roster. 6 points from Eddie Clark, 2 points from Mikewees Taylor, and 7 points from Deshaun Wells as the rest of the breakdown among those on the floor for Peoria. Manuel right now among all players out there, led by Ideas Robertson, who has 8 points, 7 points for Justin Page, 4 points for Donald Wilson, and Devontae Burse and Cameron Causey have been held off the scoreboard. Causey was a starter, and Burse has played more in the second half off the bench for the Rams. And Burse turning it over there was looking for Donald Wilson.
Peoria High has got them right where they want them. They're controlling the pace of this game. Everything seems like it's going their way in the past couple of minutes. Chance to take a big lead into the fourth quarter.
This will be a big possession. 35 seconds left for Kelly. Guarded by Page. And Page comes out to guard him. 25 left. Man-to-man look here for Manuel and a foul. 5th of the half. Manuel's going to be in the bonus before too long when the the fourth quarter starts. Clark inbounds to Stowers. 15 seconds left. Stowers starts the offense with 10 seconds left and a timeout called by Daniel Ruffin with 9.5 left.
A little interesting he called a timeout right there. Of course, Manuel has shown that they can get right back into the any game they play in, no matter the deficit. So thought he might want to hold on to 4 crucial timeouts into the final frame, but maybe he wants to try to put it away pretty quickly here. An opportunity to go up 13 or potentially 14 with a last-second bucket to end out the third frame.
Well, and an interesting point on that, Gavin. I know some coaches have told us in the time that we've been doing Clutch Sports Media is that they'll use our broadcast as scouting, and of course we were in the house at Manuel for Richwood's Manuel on Friday. Manuel erasing a 21-point deficit and then falling just a little bit short in overtime. Of course, Peoria might have sent someone to tape that themselves, but in any case, you've got to figure that they've looked a little bit, at least a little bit, at that game on Friday, and they kind of know what to expect from Manuel when they turn it up. 7 seconds left. Lions beat the first quarter buzzer. It was Deshaun Wells, the hero, in trouble now and not getting a shot off in time as Mikewees Taylor. He did get a shot off, but it was well late, and that's how the third quarter ends. Peoria up 41-30 on Manuel as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break and come back after a word from Uftring.
It's Uftring's Traction for All sales event with new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound with 4-wheel and all-wheel drive. For better winter traction, take immediate action. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
There is the big lion that adorns the jump ball circle at Peoria High School. That lion looks a little hungry tonight.
Indeed it does. Looking to hunt for some rams, perhaps.
Well, and the Lion is ate well tonight. Lions find themselves up 41-30 as the fourth quarter begins. A little tape on it. Larry Larson points out he's got a little tape on his nose. Little right there, right between his eyes almost. He's pretty high on his nose.
Does have a little tape there. Did not notice that.
Well, when you're such a big lion, you can make a piece of blue masking tape, pretty long strip, look pretty small.
Yeah, they blended it in very nicely. You wouldn't even have noticed it. Larry Larson with a keen eye, though.
I wonder what that's there for. Could be a gym class usage.
I'm thinking maybe that's the middle of the circle.
Oh,
perhaps.
yeah, could be it. Whatever the case, the Rams start the fourth quarter off with a bang. It's Justin Page. And Gavin, while we were talking about masking tape, Willie Coleman and those Manual Rams were trying to find a way to pull off another fourth quarter comeback, a little smaller than the one they faced Friday. They were only down 11, and they've whittled it back to 9 points.
Very possible, down under 10 points, and need some defensive stops, though.
Three that falls. Lions respond. It's LaShawn Stowers, the freshman, having a career night. Manuel can't answer back. Cameron Causey just a little bit short on the two. Eddie Clark for Peoria. 12 points, Peoria's largest lead tonight. Clark plays catch with Myquise Taylor. And out in front of everyone is Causey. Eddie Clark caught up and played good defense, but Cameron Causey is on the board for the first time tonight, and it's back to 10.
This feels like another big possession right here, Joey. String together multiple stops or get a steal, something of that nature, and then score.
Foul called there. Causey a little bit too aggressive, but he must have heard you because he had that idea in mind. You can tell Manuel trying to be aggressive on the defensive end.
Well, you know, again, the way the refs have been letting them play, may have gotten away with that steal at another time, but again, the ref deemed a little too much contact there, but the right idea. You know, you got to play aggressive at this stage in the game.
And they will force that turnover. They could cut it to single digits. It's batted up to Page, but Farrell couldn't keep the possession alive, and that'll be goaltending.
Heck of an effort, though. I mean, you know, he might as well try. It's going to probably go in one way or another. The athleticism from both of these teams is unmatched.
Causey, or rather Farrell will come off, and Farrell will come off after a great effort. He did his best on both sides of the ball there, tried to bat it ahead to Page. But the Lions were able to force the turnover, but then a tremendous effort, nearly a block that will be called goaltending. Robertson down low, cuts and scores. And both teams starting to play against each other here, tit for tat.
Sounded like he might have had an and one opportunity. I could hear the slap through the headset, but letting them play. Nice, strong finish there from Robertson.
Just 7 fouls called in the second half. Veteran IHSA officiating crew doing a good job with a high-stakes matchup. Two Peoria schools, Peoria High School and Manual Academy. Sean Kelly drives, and it's blocked away by Causey. It'll stay with Peoria, but Causey did a nice job. Not an authoritative block by any means, but just kind of got his hand in there and made things difficult.
Well, Manny looked a little off balance, rather, on defense there, so nice job getting the ball out of play and being able to reset a little bit.
Tipped out of bounds by Robertson.
Keep the hands in the passing lanes. Peoria High's done a great job with that. That's why they've been able to force a number of their turnovers. And they're taking a page out of the Peoria High playbook, it looks like, getting the hand in the passing lanes, tipping the ball away. Don't allow anything easy.
Both of these defenses are just so pesky. Down low, finishing is Deshaun Wells. but Wells had to work really hard to get that opportunity to turn around. Nice screen set by Robertson, gives Page a little lane. He has to create space, and Stowers brings in the board.
Gotta get a stop if you're Manual. This is a crucial possession. Need to keep this one within striking distances. We're nearing the halfway point of the final frame.
Allen gets a nice pick from Wells. They swing it around. Allen tries to drive, and it will be a defensive foul. Manual's fourth of the half. And that'll go on Justin Page.
Just an observation, you know, seeing Peoria High play a handful of times this year. There's been some games where they have just shot the three ball, shot from outside quite a bit. This game they look a little more reluctant to shoot the three, trying to drive inside a lot. So it's obviously been working, but a little different game plan coming out of the gate for Peoria High.
And Wells has a lane, gets stuffed at the rim. Causey feeds ahead to Wilson. Wilson goes up, and it's a blocking foul on the shot. Wilson will have 2 free throws. Kelly whistled for the foul, and that's going to be Kelly's third.
A couple of players in foul trouble. Of course, we're starting to get towards the end of this game, but those fouls can make a difference later on. Another foul there. I know Peoria High didn't particularly care for the call, but started leaning backwards a little too early. And again, the mentioned veteran officiating crew has a keen eye for plays like that.
At the line for some of the biggest free throws tonight is Donald Wilson. Knocks in the first. And an update on where some of the players on the floor stand in foul trouble right now. 2 fouls for Bo Allen and 2 fouls for Sean Kelly. Looking at the Lions side, and another, or rather 3 fouls for Allen, 3 fouls for Kelly. Wasn't sure if I said 2, but Eddie Clark, number 3, has 2 fouls. And then 1 foul for Deshaun Wells. And then for Manual, pardon me. 3 fouls now on that foul from Donald Wilson. And no other player has more than 2. The only player with 2 is Justin Page. Here's Allen. Slicing through the defense, finds Stowers. Stowers guarded by Traps, and he stepped out of bounds.
Here's that opening for Manual. This is their opportunity. You can get it under 10. You got to stop right there. Make them step out of bounds. Can Manual turn the heat up a little bit? Cut this one to single digits.
We'll find out soon enough. Here's Traps. And this is about when everything started for Manual against Richwoods, to go back to Friday night. Here's Page to Traps, now swung down to Wilson. Traps guarded by Kelly. Wilson a 3, had a little too much on it, tracks his own shot, but he watches as Bo Allen gets right in front of him and hauls in the rebound, and Allen brings it ahead.
Big shot right there, couldn't go in, but again, need a stop right here. You're not out of it yet. Got to put together some stops, then get some scores. Just worry about the defense first, though.
Here's Allen. Allen with a nice move, gets past Wilson, drives and gets blocked by Wilson, but they'll call Wilson for the foul. And to my eye, that looked like the correct call. There was some contact.
It did, of course. You know, you might observe the block, but before the block, a little bit of push to the back. So, correct call. The officiating crew has done a nice job. And, of course, as the game becomes very close, down to the wire, nice job.
That'll take us to our final mass timeout. With 3:32 left in the fourth quarter, Peoria leads Manual 48-38. We'll take a quick break for a word from Uftring.
Upgrade to 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive during Uftring's Traction for All sales event. With new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound, plus fresh trades and pre-owned for every budget. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Peoria Lions huddled up. They lead by 10, trying to seal a big win against crosstown enemy Manual. 48-38. There's is Daniel Ruffin, as we've seen a couple times tonight, in the heart of the huddle. Joey Wright and Gavin Russell in with you. Larry Larson, Jonathan Michael, and Josh Schwab, the rest of our crew tonight. Glad you're with us on a chilly Tuesday evening. Action just heating up, though, inside the Lions' den. A 10-point game, and there's Willie Coleman in the Manual Rams, hard at work trying to draw something up that will let them erase a 10-point deficit in 3.5 minutes.
And as simple as it seems, I'm sure he's preaching, we got to get stops and we got to get scores. I mean, obviously what it takes to win a game, but got to be able to get some stops, as Peoria High's done a nice job responding to some of the Manual runs. At this point, Manual needs to have a lot go their way to get back into this game.
Bo Allen at the line for 2 free throws, the first of which does not fall, and Peoria is going to have to execute down the stretch just to erase any doubt.
That does feel huge right there. You got to execute on the free throws. Could come back to bite you later.
Second free throw does go for Allen, and Lerone Allen Jr. has been terrific tonight, 9 points. 3 on the way for Manual would have been big had it fallen from Page. It's kept alive, and the Lions will take it straight back up the floor. Allen pushes ahead. Guarded by Causey. On the floor, Causey flips it up to Page, who drives and scores, lays it in.
Big score right there, big steal. And an issue, I don't know if they're calling for the clock or sub or something, but big play right there, exactly what Manual needed.
Cameron Causey has been rather quiet on the scoreboard tonight. Just 2 points, but that play right there illustrates his impact on the defensive side of the ball. And we've seen him get whistled for a few fouls tonight, Gavin, trying to be maybe a little too aggressive as the Lions cross the timeline, but there it played out perfectly. For the Rams, that is.
Indeed it did.
Up to Clark. Eddie Clark guarded by Justin Page. Page watching as Clark gets a step. Clark kicks to the corner, and Wells, who brings it back up to Kelly. And Sean Kelly guarded by Mike Weiss-Taylor, and a foul called on, pardon me, had that backwards, Donald Wilson, number 10 for Manual, called on that foul there.
That's a tough call. That is very, very tough call.
And that'll foul Wilson out of the game with 6 points. First player to foul out tonight. He picked up 2 fouls rather quickly there. Previously, no Ram had more than 3 fouls. We'll see who they elect to replace him with, but Sean Kelly is going to the line in the 1-and-1 bonus, which starts now for the Lions.
And we've talked about the 1-and-1 before, Joey, on the broadcast, how big that is, because you've got to earn it. Cannot miss the first one. Gives the ball right back to the Rams.
Sean Kelly knocks the first in. He's got another one waiting for him, and he does. And importantly, it is a 10-point game again. So at least a 4-possession game. And number 11 makes it an 11-point game. Sean Kelly now matches his number again with 11 points. Page feeding down to Causey. Causey down low to Robertson. Robertson up with one hand, drops it down, single digits again, and the Rams need a stop on the defensive end, and Causey will pick up the foul, his third, and that will send Kelly to the stripe.
Obviously, the Rams are looking for best case scenario here is some missed free throws, at least one missed free throw. It would be huge, but send a good free throw shooter to the line, see if he can make some clutch free throws late in this game.
And he knocks in the first free throw. Kelly now 3 of 3 at the line in the last moment or so, and they've been big free throws. 10-point game, 11-point game, 13 points now for Kelly, the senior. So big for these Lions. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Manual. And Gavin, would you say it's getting to the point here where Manual's going to need to pick it up from the perimeter?
I would say so. Of course, that looks like that's the idea from them. Those threes can become huge, but you got to make them.
That was Causey, who was well short on that three. And the Lions in control, 53-42, and a timeout called by Peoria. With 2:04 left in the fourth quarter.
Good timeout call. You've, of course, had the 11-point lead, but I'm sure, as you mentioned earlier, doing a little scouting, doing a little game planning, they know very well what Manual did against Richwoods in that big-time comeback. So the idea is obviously to, not allow any sort of comeback. Don't leave that door open. Get your team on the same page with this timeout. Know where everybody's going to go, who's going to have the ball, what to do in the case of free throws. Every situation, Daniel Ruffin will have that covered if they try to close this one out.
Reset things for you. Manual out of fouls to give, but they do have 2 timeouts left. Peoria has 1 more foul to give before the Rams enter the bonus. And they, like Manual, have 2 timeouts left. Peoria leading by 11 points, 53-42. And the possession arrow would favor the Rams if we get a jump ball, and that could come into play.
Well, they're looking to get their hands in on every sort of loose ball. They're trying to force turnovers, and getting a jump ball would be big too.
Out of the timeout, Peoria will have a chance to inbound. Quick Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball score update for you. Indiana State, a 10-point leader over Missouri State. Sean Kelly now feeding down low, and I kind of worked that in at an awkward time, didn't I? But wanted to get that out there. What, about 3 minutes left in that game, if I had that correct?
Yes, sir.
Here's Clark losing it, and he was looking for Stowers. Causey comes away with that for Manual, and here's Jerron Traps. Traps goes up strong, offensive foul.
Manual is not liking that call too much. Got an injured Lion, though, but the steal just couldn't get the score. Right idea, just not able to finish, and a really tough offensive foul call.
And that's not what the Manual Rams need, a 9th foul against the Rams. Peoria still in the 1-and-1 bonus, but on an offensive foul, they'll inbound. So Peoria essentially in the double bonus the rest of the way through. Clark will inbound. A little bit of confusion here. Clark will wait. One of our officials at the scorer's table, you see right there. That's a nice fedora on the scorer's table there. As we pick up play again. And Peoria inbounds. Taylor nearly lost it. Taylor shades away, gets it to Eddie Clark. Clark down to Wells. Wells back out to Clark. And now Kelly. Kelly double teamed. And a foul called, rather a timeout called by Peoria, as the Lions were in trouble. Timeout called with 1:18 left in the fourth quarter. There's that hat I was talking about a moment ago. John Michael with a nice shot. It's a little obstructed. Oh, that is a fedora, correct? Or is that...
That does look like a fedora to me. I'm not a big fedora wearer myself. Joey, you look like you would enjoy a good fedora.
What was it? When I was in 7th grade, my Halloween costume, I was going for Tom Landry, is what I was aiming for. I really only had the hat, the legendary Dallas Cowboys head coach. I think that's the only time in my life I've worn a fedora. I like it. I'm with it. 53-42 is our score. It was a Peoria timeout. It was a good timeout called by Daniel Ruffin Jr. The Lions had found themselves in trouble, but Gavin, you've got to figure this one is in hand for the Lions as long as they execute here down the stretch, make their free throws, and don't beat themselves.
Yeah, you just got to, everybody's got to be on the same page. You got to execute. Those free throws are big, but mistakes like that are big, and of course, while the odds are certainly stacked against the Manual Rams, I wouldn't say it's impossible, Joe.
Well, they get an opportunity on the over and back call. 75 seconds to work with for the Rams. Here's Burse to Causey, and Causey will drive. He tries to kick, but there was Bo Allen to get a hand on it. Clark drives ahead and loses it as he tries to slow it down. Traps brings it up for the Rams. This might be Manuel's last best shot. 3 from Robertson didn't fall. Allen gives it to Kelly, and Kelly's foul.
Yeah, that was probably the last stand there for Manuel. Needed something to go, and they've had a few looks making a 3. They've had a few opportunities. They've not really had as much problem with turning the ball over in the last few possessions, but shots aren't falling the way they were earlier, and Peoria High a chance to wrap this one up.
Free throw falls for Kelly. And it's a 12-point game. Kelly with 14 points to lead the Lions and leads all scorers. Ideas Robertson has 12 for Manuel and now 15 points for Kelly. If Manuel has anything left, they've got to go now. Causey drives and kicks. Robertson for 3. Falls with 40 seconds left. Manuel does have 2 timeouts left. Eddie Clark gets the inbound, guarded by Traps, and Traps picks up the foul after about 10 seconds ran off. And that'll send Clark to the line. Clark has 8 points tonight.
Big free throws for the senior. Usually a pretty good free throw shooter if I recall correctly. Manuel's going to try hard though. They're going to play this one till the buzzer sounds, but miss right there. Maybe the door stays open just a little bit.
Manuel might get one more run at this, although Peoria ahead by 10 points. Second free throw off the mark from Clark. Here's Page. Nearly lost it and did lose it. Sean Kelly drives to the rim and doesn't finish. Page gets it ahead to Devontae Burse. Burse to the corner, and Jerron Traps. Traps drives, doesn't get the roll. Clark the rebound, and he'll go all the way up the floor to Sean Kelly. Kelly will finish with one hand, and that will seal it for the Lions. Peoria, a 12-point winner over Manuel. They get the job done tonight and win it 57-45.
Heck of a battle. I mean, you know, even though Manuel's going to come out with the loss in this one, they are plenty battle tested as we, start to wind down the season, heading into the final month in about a week. This is great experience because they'll have a lot of things they can take away that went right, some things that went wrong. But again, a great fought battle by both sides.
It was a fun one down to the wire. Peoria pulled away in the fourth quarter, and it will go in the books as a 12-point win for the Lions. Lions improved to 11-7 on the campaign and 5-1 in the Big 12. Peoria now 5-2 in their last 7 games. Manuel 6-9, 1-4 in Big 12 conference play. But two teams, Gavin, that clearly have a lot of talent. And as the playoffs start to draw near, we're about a month out, a little more than a month out. You got to think that these two teams, if they peak in this next month or so, or set themselves up to peak in the playoffs over the next month or so, more accurately, I wouldn't want to see either of these squads down the stretch.
No, for sure. They're a team that can beat just about anybody. They're going to play with just about anybody. They're, really play with a lot of grit and a lot of grind. They're both very well coached. So, once again, they're going to be a team that, will play with just about anybody, and they'll be a team that certainly want to see, especially if in the upset conversation.
And a look at the next 2 games for both of these sides. Manuel on the 29th will host Metamora. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Normal Community at Manuel on February 4th. And on the 28th of January, Peoria's at Champaign Central. 2 of the Big 12's maroon schools going at it, and that one always a lot of fun when Peoria and Champaign Central make that trip up or down I-74. That is on the 28th, and Decatur MacArthur on the 29th of January. On that Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball update, I kind of shoehorned in a moment ago. Looks like Missouri State has fought back. It's a 2-point game, 35.5 left to play, 74-72 Indiana State in Terre Haute. Daniel Ruffin, of course, Peoria High School head coach, played at Bradley, so he played in the Missouri Valley Conference.
A lot of big basketball this time of year, college, professional, and of course high school as well.
We love it. Whatever level it is, we love it. We love to watch it. We love to cover it. And we are getting ready to put a bow on a 57-45 win for Peoria over Manual tonight. For our entire crew, Larry Larson behind our computer, Jonathan Michael behind our camera, and Josh Schwam on our social media outlets tonight. Gavin Russell, my partner, I'm Joey Wright. Peoria with a big win in crosstown play, a 12-point win over Manual. This has been a presentation of Clutch Sports Media. We thank you for watching, and join us next time.